Peace, fam. Peace, fam. Peace, fam. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for being here. The Royal Tribe is here to stay. We are here. We are becoming better people every day. You can and you will desire and manifest what you desire every day because we are that, period. With that being said, this video we're talking about traditional rules, right? In astrology, you have traditional astrology, Western astrology, Vedic astrology, Ori astrology, and a whole bunch of other shits, right? And in astrology, there are certain rules, right? Traditional rules, right? Especially when it comes to the moon. The moon is so important. A lot of people give a lot of credit to the sun, but the moon is also very, very damn important. And so there's a couple of rules that we're going to go over, and we're going to talk about them just now. The first one is do not give medicine or herbal concoctions during when the moon is in Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. Is that correct? Yes. This can cause vomiting. Remember, the earth is the body. The moon affects the bodily fluids. So if you're giving herbs like a tea form or some sort of laxative, right? And remember, the earth is the body. And so if you're giving some form of that to somebody during when the moon is in those signs, those bodily fluids of the earth, aka the bodily fluids of the body, in terms of earth, like solid, more solid fluids, right? They can activate easier. For example, if you give somebody a tea with licorice root, dandelion, burdock root, and maybe some lobelia, right? Lobelia is a good herb, but if taken in excess, it can cause vomiting. It's actually used for that purpose sometimes. And so, if the moon is in Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, if you decide to give somebody lobelia in a low dosage, just because the moon is in one of those earth signs, it can cause vomiting, even though you didn't give them as much to make them vomit. Does that make sense? So you want to be careful with giving or starting a regimen in the earth signs. Well, I don't want to say starting. I want to say giving specific herbs. Well, not just specific herbs. Any type of herbal concoction, any type of medicine when it's in the earth sign, right? What else? Okay. Then the next sign, the next rule is think twice or like be conscious of your patient's moon sign, especially if their moon is in Gemini or Aquarius, in terms of giving them any type of chemical, anything. Gemini and Aquarius is the nervous system. Libra is also kind of the nervous system, but it's more so the kidneys. And so you wanna be very careful, because if you give them a chemical, it can really fuck up their nervous system. Like, it can fuck up anybody's nervous system, but because the moon is the feeling, it's the inner you, it's the part of you where you are actually, it is the flow of the vital life force. It's not the vital life force. The vital life force is the sun, but the flow of the vital life force. If you give them a chemical that, well, not as a chemical, not as that type of chemical. If you give them any type of chemical that can affect the nervous system, especially with the moon in Gemini and Aquarius, and so you don't want to do that, because their nervous systems are so much more sensitive, like way more sensitive. And so you want to be wary of that. When the moon is in Aquarius, You want to be wary of anything like acupuncture or any other type of healing modality that can affect the nervous system, right? Especially like electrical treatments. So like, when I had surgery, I had to get this thing on my leg, and it was stimulated, like it would give it an electrical pulse to make the muscle flex, because my muscles were atrophied, meaning my muscles were just they got smaller and smaller and smaller because I wasn't using them, because I couldn't really walk like that. And so if you get with the moon in Aquarius, remember the moon gives the bodily, affects the bodily fluids in the sign that it's in. And so if it's in Aquarius, it's going to affect the nervous system. And Aquarius is not just a nervous system, it's a nervous system. It is a part of the nervous system that is more based upon metaphysical aspects, or aspects that we can't really explain, but they happen. Right? And so with the transiting moon inside of Aquarius, you want to avoid electrical type of stimulation to the nervous system. You just want to avoid that. Right? The next traditional rule: the best time to give somebody an herbal concoction, especially when it's a purgative concoction, like a laxative or something to help them vomit, right? You want to give it when the moon is transiting a water sign: Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. Reason being is because it's water. It's more receptive to outside influences, right? And so, say the moon is in Cancer, that's when you want to start a program, or a laxative, or a detox, right? That's when you want to start it, when the moon is in a water sign. The best healers, or the healers that have the capacity to be the best, are the water signs. People who have a sun, moon, and or rising in a water sign are some of the best healers, because water is so healing. It's so healing, right? And it can go into many different forms, and it's so receptive. It's so easy to talk to. You know what I'm saying? So water signs are some good healers. Okay, so this is the next rule. So when somebody is experiencing coldness, like their body is cold, or you are looking to give them something for a cold symptom, you want to do that when the moon is in a fire sign: Aries, Sag, or Leo. Reason being is because the moon is going to amplify the fire energy that is coming from the signs. And so if you give like say the moon is in Aries or Leo or Sag, and you want to give somebody who's experiencing cold shivers, like they're just cold, anemia, that's a good one. You want to give them the cayenne peppers and the gingers, right? When the moon is in Aries, Leo, or Sag, right? That's not saying that you can't do it in a water sign, but it's easy. It's more beneficial when you're trying to activate the warming or the hot aspect of healing, right? When the moon is in a fire sign. So, okay, so now the next rule: when you're looking for cooling and moistening effects, you want to do that when the moon is in a water sign. Makes sense because it's in a water sign. It's cooler. It's more fluid. It's not, you know, it's soothing, right? Now, if you're gonna give somebody a laxative or purging herb, it's gonna have a double effect to someone when the moon is in Scorpio, the transiting moon is in Scorpio, or their natal moon is in Scorpio. It's gonna have a double, maybe even a triple effect, depending on the other placements. And so you want to be aware of that as a healer, or whenever you are trying to heal yourself. Is there another? Yes, there are. When you are looking to do, this is the next rule. When you're trying to perform a cast or perform a mold, like if you're trying to make a mold of somebody's arm because they maybe broke their arm and now you have to let it like sit for a while. Whenever you're doing that, you want to do that in an earth sign. Makes sense? It's an earth sign. It's more solid. It's more firm, right? And an astringent herb, right? When you want to give astringent properties to the body, you want to do it in the earth sign. Capricorn is the best for astringent because Capricorn is the most astringent sign. Or not the most astringent sign, that's not the right way of saying it, but I think you get what I'm saying. Right? And so you want to do that when it's in an earth sign, right? This goes for all the rules, but you want to know what quality the sign has, if it's fixed, mutable, or cardinal, right? Because that makes a big difference when you're giving the herbs. For example, if you want to give somebody a cooling or moistening effect, right? But you're starting it, you want to do it in Cancer, more so Scorpio or Pisces. If you're looking for a more of a push, more of a car starting, I'm starting, like I'm starting to run, I'm starting, right? If you wanted to give it a jump start, there we go. That's a good way of saying it. Then you put it in Cancer. If you want it to be more fixed, if you want it to be more, I'm starting, but I'm going to stay here, right? I wanted to stay in this organ. I wanted to stay on this energetic path. You're going to do it in Scorpio. If you want it to be more mutable, if you wanted to be able to change with whatever other healing aspects you add to it, you want to do it more in Pisces. Follow what I'm saying? That's how that works. Okay, so here's another. I'm gonna have to read this one. So what was it? Females. No, this is a new rule. This is about fertility, and it makes sense. For females, when the moon is in Cancer, Pisces, Taurus, and Scorpio, a female is more fertile, right? It makes sense it makes sense, right? And so if you're trying to get pregnant, do it when the moon is in Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or Taurus, and you'll have a higher likelihood of becoming pregnant in those instances. If you're trying to avoid being pregnant, don't have sex during when the moon is in those times, because you'll be more fertile. That's funny as hell. When Jupiter is going over the North Node, or let me phrase this, when the transiting Jupiter is going over the natal North Node, or the natal North Node is going over the transiting Jupiter, the female is also more fertile. Jupiter is a planet of expansion. The North Node is like going towards an aspect, right? When Mars is conjunct Venus, that's also more indicative of for fertility. If you have this would be like the ultimate fertile time, or one of the ultimate fertile times. If you have Jupiter, Venus, Mars inside a water sign, and the moon inside that sign, all y'all females getting pregnant. like, if you have sex, the chance of you getting pregnant is really high. So, right? If you want to avoid pregnancy, well, I don't want to say avoid. If you're trying to get pregnant, you want to avoid the time when Saturn is going over the south node. That makes it harder to become pregnant or to be fertile, right? Now, if you're looking to nourish a specific section of the body, right, you want to do it when the moon is inside a sign, or it's inside the sign that you are trying to use. I feel like I said that in a weird way, but say you are trying to nourish the digestive system. The best time to nourish the digestive system is when the moon is in Virgo, because Virgo rules the colon in the digestive system, right? And so the reason being is better to do it during that time is because, remember like I said earlier, I even said it earlier in this video or a different video, I can't remember, but the moon amplifies the bodily fluids, and which includes the blood, and the blood is what transports nutrients to different parts of the body, right? And so if the moon is in, I don't know, let's say Pisces. No, I said Pisces already. I want to do a different one. Let's say Capricorn. No, I think I said Capricorn already. I'm going to do a different one. I said Sag already. I didn't do Scorpio yet. Let's say Scorpio. Scorpio rules the lymphatic system, but it also rules the endocrine system. And so if the moon is in there, right? Okay, no. Say you have a patient or yourself and you're experiencing hormonal issues, or you're experiencing issues with releasing toxins, or if you're trying to do a detox and you want to release toxins, you want to do it when the moon is in Scorpio, right? Because it brings new nutrients to those bodily regions. Like right now, the moon is in Capricorn. When the moon is in Capricorn, it's bringing more blood flow, more nutrients to the bones and the knees, which is the best time to actually heal those body parts because of the moon. And that's just how it works, right? And those are the traditional rules, right? With that being said, this was a longer video, but that's all good. You know, you guys are getting the information, and that's the big part. Love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys again for joining the community. We are going to the moon and beyond. This is a tribe where we're talking about health in many different facets. You know, holistic health, you know, health, financial health, mental health, metaphysical health. We're talking about health in general. And so, that being said, love you guys, appreciate you guys. If you have a question, comment, or concern, please leave a comment below, and so I can answer it, right? Maybe I left something out, maybe I spoke too fast, maybe you can't hear me because it's too loud out here, maybe, I don't know. But ask me, because I want to know, I want to answer the question, I want to help. Remember, this is a community, this is a tribe, we help each other out, and that's how this works, right? That being said, I love you guys, appreciate you guys, see you on the next one, peace.